Here at Reagan's Rides, we like to do epic car comparos. Now what we have here is a car comparo that will soon be the stuff of legend. Two phenomenal value crossovers will duke it out in a classic Reagan's Rides mano a mano. Both of these cars are the latest and greatest versions of themselves, and in this video, we will find out which one is the better contender. Friends, the Geely Coolray Sport Limited versus the MG ZST Trophy. Let's do this! Hello guys, I'm Reagan and welcome back to another Car Comparo. If you're new to my channel, I hope you click that subscribe button for your regular dose of Philippine automotive content. If you're my subscriber already, well, sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, and enjoy the show as well as the comment section. But first, I hope you click that like button as well. Also, special thanks to Geely Fairview for providing the Geely Coolray Sport Limited and to MG Congressional for providing the MG ZST Trophy. If you have any inquiries for any of these vehicles, well, I'll put their contact details in my pinned comment below. The MG ZS paved the way for the value crossover revolution in the country when it arrived last October 2018. It was the best-selling value crossover in the country until the Geely Coolray arrived in September 2019 to steal some of its thunder. Ever since then, the Geely Coolray has become the value crossover champion since its flashier features and amenities were able to eclipse the older MG ZS. However, the newer MG ZS Trophy is now here to reclaim its crown, but the Geely Coolray Sport will not give it up without a fight. You see, this is no ordinary Coolray Sport, but this is the Super Saiyan form of the Coolray Sport Limited. In this grudge match, we shall pit these two kings according to the following categories: price, exterior looks, cabin materials quality, tech and safety, space, and the drive. At the end of the video, we shall finally find out who is the true value crossover king. Let's do this. Turn up. Let's go. The Geely Coolray Sport Limited was released as a limited run of only 1,000 units, but it has several new features over the regular Coolray Sport. Its retail price also increased by a little bit because it now retails for 1,218,000 Philippine pesos. The MG ZS Trophy, on the other hand, has received a major refresh and major changes from the previous top-spec MG ZS, the ZS Alpha. It also now has a higher retail price of 1,158,888 Philippine pesos, which is more expensive than the MG ZS Alpha, but it still comes in lower than the Geely Coolray Sport Limited. When it comes to warranties, both of these vehicles have a 5-year vehicle warranty, so it's practically a tie there. However, since the MG ZS Trophy has a lower retail price, it takes 5 points, while the Geely Coolray Sport Limited takes 4 points in the price category. Turn up. Let's go. The Coolray Sport Limited gets a fresh set of 18-inch blacked-out alloy wheels. Aside from that, well, the rest of the look is pretty much the same as a regular Coolray Sport. It still gets the same LED lighting units here, plus that same Coolray body kit and those yummy-looking quad functional exhaust pipes. Now this look has aged pretty well, and because of that, well, the Geely Coolray Sport Limited deserves 5 points in the exterior looks category. The MG ZS Trophy looks completely different from the lower spec MG ZS Alpha. It gets a redesigned front grille here, plus the headlights are now LED. In fact, this whole front fascia reminds me of all things, the Ford Mustang. However, the MG ZS Trophy only gets smaller 17-inch alloy wheels, plus it also has those twin fake exhaust garnishes at the back, which is a demerit for me. So despite this revised look, well, the MG ZS Trophy can only do 4 points in the looks category.
Turn up. Let's go.
The Geely Coolray Sport Limited gets the same black and red two-tone leather seats here that's found in the regular Coolray Sport. We also have power adjustments for the driver's seat, but this Coolray Sport Limited gains ventilated seats, a useful feature especially since we live here in tropical Philippines. The steering wheel is also wrapped in leather, and we also have red leather on the top of the dashboard, the center armrest, and the inserts of your door cards. However, we do get a bit more plastic bits and pieces here than the MG ZS Trophy, but Geely managed to cleverly hide those plastic bits by using different textures and colors here. The fit and finish is also exceptional, and as such, this Geely Coolray Sport Limited deserves 5 points in the cabin materials category. The MG ZS Trophy gets these gorgeous faux leather seats here, and the driver's seat also gets power adjustments. It doesn't get the ventilated seat feature of the Coolray Sport Limited, but it does get a heating function. Not that it's gonna be needed here in the Philippines. Now, however, the steering wheel looks so much better, and it's also gorgeously wrapped in leather, and it also has red stitching here. Plus, we have all of those leather that can be found on the top dashboard, the middle dashboard, the inserts of the door cards, and also the center armrest right here. The fit and finish is also tight, so because of that, well, the MG ZS Trophy also deserves 5 points in the cabin materials category.
Turn up. Let's go.
The MG ZS Trophy now gets a host of safety features and tech amenities that make it worthy of the trophy name. It now has this fully digital instrument gauge cluster here, plus a 10-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Now, this infotainment system now has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it also has a 360-degree view camera. Now, granted, the image quality of the camera is a few steps behind the Geely Coolray Sport Limited, but it also has a 3D function. Now, when it comes to the safety bits, well, the MG ZS Trophy has the same safety features as the Geely Coolray Sport Limited, but it also adds rear cross traffic alert to the list. So because it has rear cross traffic alert and we have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto here, which is pretty tough to beat, well, the MG ZS Trophy deserves 5 points in the tech and safety category. The Geely Coolray Sport Limited gets a fully digital instrument gauge cluster here that even changes in format whenever you toggle it in sport mode. It also gets a 10.25-inch touchscreen infotainment system with a gorgeous 360-degree view camera image display. However, it only makes do with smartphone mirroring because it still doesn't get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It does get a front dash cam and a self-parking feature, but to be honest guys, I would be using the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto more than a self-parking feature. Now, when it comes to the safety bits, well, the Coolray Sport Limited is equipped with 6 airbags, stability control, ABS with EBD, blind spot detection, and lane change assist. It doesn't get a rear cross traffic alert though, which the MG ZS Trophy gets. So because of that missing rear cross traffic alert, plus the fact that we don't get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto here, well, the Geely Coolray Sport Limited only takes 4 points in the tech and safety category.
Turn up. Let's go.
The back seat of the Coolray Sport Limited is pretty much the same as a regular Coolray Sport. You can fit 2 average Asian adults here and they will be very comfortable, but if you try to put a third one in the middle, well, it might get a little bit tight. Now, when it comes to the amenities, well, we get the same amenities here as a regular Coolray Sport, which means that we only get a few. We only have 1 USB charge port here. We still don't get a rear AC vent, but at least we still have a center armrest here with 2 cup holders. However, since we live in tropical Philippines, I'd rather have a pair of rear AC vents here rather than a center armrest. Now, the Coolray Sport Limited gains and loses some points here at the trunk. You see, the Coolray Sport Limited now has a power liftgate, which is a huge advantage over its competitor. However, once you get this thing open, the actual cargo space is a lot smaller than the MG ZS Trophy. The Coolray Sport Limited still gets 330 liters of trunk space here. So, well, because of that smaller boot space and the fact that we don't get rear AC vents here, well, despite having a power liftgate, the Coolray Sport Limited can only do 4 points in the space category. The MG ZS Trophy has practically the same backseat size as the Geely Coolray Sport Limited. However, when it comes to backseat amenities, well, the MG ZS Trophy pulls ahead. We get a pair of rear AC vents here plus 2 USB charge ports. Here at the back, the MG ZS Trophy also pulls a slight advantage when it comes to overall cargo space. Pop open the manual liftgate, well, it just gets a manual liftgate, but that's not really a big issue for me. The thing is, the trunk capacity of this MG ZS Trophy stands at 359 liters, which is a bit larger than the Geely Coolray Sport Limited. So because it has a pair of rear AC vents plus those couple of USB charge ports and an overall larger boot space, well, the MG ZS Trophy takes 5 points in the space category.
Turn up, let's go.
The Geely Coolray Sport Limited is still the best driving value subcompact crossover in the segment, and that title still holds true even up to today. It's equipped with a 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged gasoline engine that puts out a whopping 177 horsepower and 255 Nm of torque. Now that makes this thing the segment leader in the subcompact crossover world. Now all that power is put down via 7-speed wet-type dual-clutch transmission. 0 to 100 kph times can be done in 7.9 seconds, making it one of the faster subcompact crossovers in the segment today. Now the steering feel of the Geely Coolray Sport Limited is also one of the best in the class because it has a sharp steering ratio and a good amount of feedback despite being an electric power assist system. It also has 3 drive modes, normal, eco, and sport. So if you put all of that together, well, the Geely Coolray Sport Limited takes 5 points in the driving category. The MG ZS Trophy has now received a new engine. This is motivated by a 1.3-liter 4-cylinder turbo petrol mill that puts out 161 horsepower and 230 Nm of torque. Now, that might seem a bit down on power when you compare it to the Geely Coolray Sport Limited, but this ZS Trophy is 100 kilos lighter than the Coolray. Now, that explains why this ZS Trophy feels just as quick as the Coolray Sport Limited. Now, it also received a more updated 6-speed automatic transmission, but it only makes do with 2 drive modes, a normal and a sport mode. To be honest guys, I don't really miss that eco driving mode, so it's not really a big deal for me. Now, what's a big deal though is the steering response. You see, the steering feel of this ZS Trophy is a bit vague, and the response is also blunt. The handling character of this car is also not as tight as the one that I saw in the Coolray Sport Limited. So because of all of that guys, well, this MG ZS Trophy can only do 4 points in the driving category.
Turn up, let's go.
After a grueling battle, the scorecards will show that the Geely Coolray Sport Limited put up a valiant effort with 27 overall points, while the new and improved MG ZS Trophy took home 28 points. Now, the fact that both of these crossovers scored 3 points and 2 points away from a perfect score shows you just how good these vehicles are. The Geely Coolray Sport Limited is still the driving champion, so if you enjoy driving and don't mind that limited connectivity due to smartphone mirroring, well, the Geely Coolray Sport Limited is still your value crossover pick. The MG ZS Trophy, on the other hand, scored big when it comes to connectivity and cabin amenities at a lower retail price. So if the asking price of the Geely Coolray Sport Limited is a bit too steep for you, well then the MG ZS Trophy offers the better bang for the buck. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this car comparo, and until my next one, thanks for watching.